Today I have some amazing footage to share about what happens to people who block roads in Hong Kong compared to people who block roads in the UK and EU. We'll get to that soon. But first, a warning from the UK police. Police from Cheshire in the UK issued a warning that people can be arrested for putting inaccurate information on the internet. Don't they realise that that covers literally everyone in the world? The police are going to be busy, that's all I can say about that. But it's probably a good thing then that UK police have started those arrests in the past few days. More than 30 people were arrested for online posts in the UK, and several have already been jailed for Facebook activity. Ooh. A man who posted a TikTok video claiming that he was running for his life, when he wasn't really, has just been given a 3-month jail sentence in the UK for posting a misleading TikTok clip. It's all rather surprising and awkward for a certain group of people. Some Hong Kongers, migrants in the UK, tell me that they are, shall we say, a little concerned to have landed in the middle of a massive uprising against immigration, with both political parties adopting an anti-immigrant stance. And the fact is, far more people are arrested for using social media in UK than in Hong Kong. Not like the narrative, is it? Lots of memes like this are appearing on the internet. Move, lads, someone's posting comments on social media. Or this one, we saw your meme, step outside. Now that's humour, but it reflects reality. In the UK, before the present crackdown on social media, 1,000 people a year were detained for using the internet to spread matter, causing annoyance or anxiety. And that's an offence under Section 127 of the UK's 2003 Communications Act. But now, there's a new, even tougher British law, the Online Safety Act. The UK's already tough social media laws should be beefed up so Musk can be jailed, a writer in the UK Guardian said today. And the UK Data Authority, Ofcom, now has the power to shut X.com out of the country, the Independent reported. In extreme cases, Ofcom can require internet service providers to stop working with companies, effectively banning them from operating in the UK. Heavy stuff. Also today, a viral video from free speech campaigner Mike Benz said that a whole network of US organisations, including the notorious NED and numerous other US State Department spin-offs, are quietly working in the UK and the EU to ensure that alternatives to the official US-led narrative are shut down.
You should be angry, on fire angry, but you should not be surprised. This has been a long time coming. There has been 7 years of collusion between the U.S. State Department, both through formal and informal channels, through the U.S. NGO swarm funded by the State Department and USAID and the National Endowment for Democracy, by NATO, including the U.S. military, as well as the Brussels establishment, all to coerce the European Union to install government censorship measures to prevent the rise of domestic populism, primarily right-wing populism, but also notably left-wing populism, such as that from Jeremy Corbyn's Labour Party before Keir Starmer took over, because he was running on an anti-NATO, anti-war footing to pay for left-wing socialist measures. And you have right-wing populists running on a cutback of foreign aid spending and military interventionism for domestic prosperity and infrastructure investments. And so both of these are flank the sort of neoliberal financial order of the EU and the military interests of NATO. And so there has been this long-range plan since Donald Trump won the election in 2016, and the Hillary Clinton State Department exiles did this international roadshow to get the European countries to pass censorship laws, as they did in Germany with NetGG, as they've been pushing the UK with the UK Online Harms Bill. And so this is the natural escalation of this.
Now that totally rings true. I've been saying that for 5 years. It's interesting that people on the right wing say their concerns are not being taken seriously. And Benz points out that may be true, but anyone who takes an anti-war, anti-NATO position, such as Jeremy Corbyn, gets swiftly silenced, booted out. But no one would call Corbyn a right-winger. Last week, the UK government put out a dramatic 4-word post on X.com. Think before you post. This was quickly recirculated on the internet, attached to a picture of Big Brother. I was amazed to read that the police are actually paying officers to read Facebook and X.com as a surveillance activity. Now, in most places, you're in trouble if you do that during work hours. In the UK police now, that's your job.
And we do have dedicated police officers who are scouring social media. Their job is to look for this material and then follow up with identification arrests and so forth.
I can just imagine the next hit crime show on British TV. The Facebook scrollers. Da, 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 da. But anyway, you probably feel safe because you're not in the UK. You're watching this from China or India or Indonesia or the US or Australia. Big mistake. Police Chief Mark Rowley said that the long arms of the British law would be reaching around the world to extradite people from anywhere who have caused trouble in the UK. I can just imagine a team of Scotland Yard officers flying to Hong Kong and breaking down that door over there to ask me a question. "Oi mate, did you post a smiley emoji on Facebook yesterday?" "I confess, it was me, officer. I will come quietly." Anyway, having said that, I admit that I do have some sympathy for the UK police. The sort of people who post stuff on 4chan and 9gag have discovered that in the UK you can report a crime using the internet. So they're distributing lists of UK police website reporting addresses for troublemakers to use. I'm deliberately showing you the list while making it too small to read so as not to add to the problem. People who misbehave lose their power to use the police reporting website. So, help, help, I'm being murdered. Sorry man, you're on our block list. Can't help you. Cheerio. Here's another example. 9gag is a website started in Hong Kong but evidently managed by Americans. They decided to make a contribution to the debate in the UK by uploading a recipe for petrol bombs. Again, I'm deliberately printing it too small for people to see. What to do? Some UK police bodies have apparently stopped people from accessing their websites. I tried the website for the Cheshire Police mentioned at the beginning of this report and got a permanent waiting signal. Anyway, there is widespread discussion in the UK about the way the country is becoming authoritarian. It has objectively stricter rules on dissent and protest than Hong Kong has, which is something I've discussed in separate videos. Hong Kong's national security law is extremely mild and gentle compared to the new UK laws, on paper and in practice. Here's proof. A UK court recently jailed climate protesters for between 4 and 5 years each for being part of a Zoom call discussing road disruption. A Zoom call discussing road disruption. Now, road disruption, of course, gets Hong Kong people hot under the collar. The favourite activity of the US-financed protesters in Hong Kong for years has been blocking roads. So I filmed these scenes myself at protests in Hong Kong. Major roads were blocked for days, weeks, and in one case more than 2 months.
Behind me you can see the main road that runs through Hong Kong Island. It's called Gloucester Road, and as you can see it's completely empty. The students have blocked both lanes, and in fact all the Hong Kong traffic is cooped up into that little tiny lane there. Can you see it on my left? It's nearly midnight, everyone's tired, so tempers are flaring.
What did the Hong Kong police do in such cases? I'll tell you. As soon as the protesters flooded onto the road and started blocking it, the police snapped into action. They diverted buses and cars to make sure that nobody was hurt and that everyone, particularly the protesters who were standing in the road, were kept safe. Now watch this whole process in Hong Kong again and again and again. It's different in the West. Now here's what happens in the UK or the EU if you try to block a road. You get shoved out of the way in just a few minutes. Block a road in UK or Germany or elsewhere and police and other motorists will remove you at high speed. And then participants are often jailed, sometimes for years. In comparison, the typical jail time for arrested rioters in Hong Kong is 0 months, 0 weeks and 0 days. The vast majority were freed without charge.
And finally, new rule: someone needs to tell the people who block traffic in the name of a cause, no one likes you.
If anyone is watching this in the UK and you want to go to a peaceful, low-crime city which has the highest health score of any place on earth, come to Hong Kong. Here you'll find peace.